Well, we know the price of just about everything has gone up at the grocery store, but beef is one item in particular that has seen a jump. In fact, the latest numbers show ground beef has gone up 25% in just the last year alone, far outpacing inflation, which currently sits around 1.7%. For more on this, we are joined by Stuart Smythe. He is a professor in the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics at the University of Saskatchewan. Stuart, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you kindly.
So one of the major factors for this price increase is the ongoing drought. How is that impacting things?
So because we've had multiple years of drought throughout much of the key beef producing regions in Saskatchewan and Alberta, farmers have had to reduce their herd sizes over the last few years just simply to be able to have enough feed on hand to get their livestock through the winter months, or also to take advantage of some of the higher prices. As you know, the average age of farmers is nearing 60, and some of these farmers want to downsize a little bit and reduce the demands on their daily activities. And so they're, with prices being a little bit higher right now, I think that's also factoring into it.
And how are consumer habits playing into these high prices?
So we've had very consistent demand for beef. We've had in the last 5 years, there's been a little over 3 million more Canadians. So a lot of the people that are immigrating to Canada are coming from regions or countries in the world where they've been predominantly plant-based diets. So as they move to Canada and want to expand or move away a little bit from the plant-based, I think we're going to see continued sustained demand for beef over the next few years.
So we know that some grocery chains have been accused of price gouging in the past. Is this related to the prices as well?
I'm not able to see any evidence of that. Where there would be more likelihood for that to occur would be in the meat processing side of things, where the top four meat processing companies in Canada account for 95% of the beef that's processed.
So are beef producers, obviously they're struggling because of drought, but are they seeing any benefits with this high demand and with the prices increasing?
I think it's a bit of a trade-off. Certainly if farmers want to finish beef on their farms to feed or to sort of to slaughter weights, then that requires additional costs and inputs that you've got to have more feed. The alternative is, this fall, if prices remain pretty good and farmers may not have as much feed as they would hope for, we may see some additional sales of livestock in the fall as farmers take advantage of the higher prices.
And of course, you mentioned some of the challenges that they're facing. Do you foresee more beef producers maybe getting out of the cattle industry as a result of all this?
I think it's really going to depend on what moisture levels are like over the next couple of years. As I said, we've had sustained drought for a number of years in lots of areas, and it's going to take more than 1 year of above average rainfall before I think a lot of farmers are looking at increasing their herd sizes. It might take 2 years of surplus moisture before farmers feel that they've maybe moved out of that sustained drought period into more reasonable moisture conditions, and so they'll look at expanding their herds and being confident that they'll have enough feed to get those livestock through the winter months.
So as a result of all of that, where do you sort of see prices going from here? Is there going to be more of an increase, or maybe are we in for some relief?
I wish I could give you a confidence vote that it was going to be the latter, but when I look at the market and the economic conditions and the sustained demand, I just don't see a lot of factors that are going to contribute to a reduction in food or in beef prices. We may be able to plateau it a little bit if things don't change much in the next 12 or 18 months, but I think consumers should likely be prepared for a continuation of some increase over the short term.
Okay, Stuart, thank you so much for your thoughts on this.
My pleasure.